Cosmic mockery. The Earth United Defense Fleet hung in lunar orbit like toys against the vastness of space. 12 battleships, 30 cruisers, and 60 smaller vessels, humanity's pride and the product of centuries of technological development. Captain Ilara Chen stood on the observation deck of the flagship Brilliance, watching as the diplomatic shuttle returned from the Galactic Council meeting. Her stomach tightened. She already knew what news it carried. Admiral Jackson's hologram appeared before the gathered officers minutes later, his expression grim. The Council has denied our petition for full membership status. Again. Murmurs of anger rippled through the command staff. This marked the third rejection in as many decades. On what grounds this time? Ilara asked, though she knew the answer. The same as always. Our propulsion technology remains primitively substandard. Without faster-than-light capability, we're considered a liability rather than an asset. Jackson's image flickered. The Volari representative actually laughed when I presented our fusion drive specifications. Ilara's fists clenched. The Volari, crystalline beings who had achieved interstellar travel 5,000 years before humans had even invented the wheel, were the most dismissive of Earth's efforts. She had encountered their ambassador at a previous summit, where he had referred to humans as clever primates playing with toys beyond their understanding. There's more, Jackson continued. Intelligence reports the Zexari Empire has expanded operations in the Proxima Centauri system. They're establishing a forward base just 4 light-years from Earth. The room fell silent. The Zexari were notorious expansionists, absorbing less advanced civilizations into their collective or eradicating those who resisted. Without Galactic Council protection, Earth stood alone. How long do we have? Asked Colonel Wei, the Strategic Operations Officer. Intelligence estimates 8 standard months before they can launch a full invasion force. 8 months to prepare against an enemy with vastly superior technology. Earth's conventional weapons would be useless against Zexari phase shields. Their only hope lay in Project Prometheus, the experimental hyperspeed drive Ilara had been developing with her team for the past 7 years. Admiral, Ilara spoke up, request permission to accelerate the Prometheus trials. Jackson's eyes narrowed. The last test nearly vaporized the Lunar Research Station. The quantum fluctuations. We've stabilized the resonance chamber, Ilara interrupted. Dr. Walsh made a breakthrough last week. I've heard that before, Captain. This time, it's different. Her voice dropped. We achieved 70% synchronization in simulation. With proper resources, we could have a prototype ready in 6 months. The Admiral studied her face, searching for doubt. He found none. You have 3 months, Captain. After that, we need to divert all resources to conventional defenses. The transmission ended, leaving Ilara with an impossible deadline and the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. The Quantum Propulsion Laboratory hummed with activity as scientists and engineers worked around the clock. In the center of the main chamber stood the Hyperspeed core, a spherical device 3 meters in diameter, housing the most sophisticated quantum technology ever developed on Earth. Dr. Marcus Walsh, a disheveled physicist with perpetually smudged glasses, gestured excitedly at the holographic equations floating before him. The resonance problem was conceptual, not technical. We've been trying to force particles through space-time. Instead, we need to create a harmonic relationship between matter and the quantum field. Ilara studied the equations, following his logic, like riding a wave instead of fighting against it. Exactly, Marcus beamed. Conventional drives push against space-time. Hyperspeed synchronizes with the underlying quantum fabric, creating a localized phase shift that essentially moves space-time around the ship instead of moving the ship through space. Ilara finished. The aliens achieved this through centuries of incremental advances. We're attempting to make the leap in 1 generation. Marcus removed his glasses, cleaning them nervously. It's why they laugh at us. The mathematical probability of our success is, I don't care about their probabilities. Ilara cut him off. Their mathematics doesn't account for human determination. The test vessel, a modified shuttle barely 15 meters long, sat in a launch bay, retrofitted with the prototype drive. Every simulation had been run, every calculation checked and rechecked. Tomorrow would be the moment of truth. That night, Ilara couldn't sleep. She stood at her viewport, gazing at the stars that had always called to her. Somewhere out there, the Zexari were preparing to extinguish humanity's brief flicker of consciousness in the universe. The Galactic Council watched with detached curiosity, expecting Earth to fall like countless other young civilizations before them. What they failed to understand was that humans had evolved on a planet that tried to kill them at every turn. They had survived ice ages and asteroid impacts, plagues, and world wars. Humanity's greatest advances had always come when faced with extinction. The test launch proceeded under maximum security protocols. Ilara sat in the pilot's seat, running through pre-flight checks, while Marcus monitored the drive systems from the command center. Quantum resonance chamber at nominal levels, Marcus reported. Initiating harmonic sequence. The drive began to hum, a sound that rose in pitch until it passed beyond human hearing. Instruments showed the quantum field surrounding the vessel beginning to fluctuate, dancing in patterns that defied conventional physics. Synchronization at 40%, 55, 67. A vibration passed through the ship, not unpleasant but deeply strange, as though reality itself was becoming less solid. 75%, 83. We're approaching critical threshold. Ilara's hands hovered over the activation controls. This was the point where previous tests had failed catastrophically. 90% synchronization achieved. Captain, we're... Ilara pressed the control, initiating hyperspeed. The universe seemed to fold around the ship. For a heartbeat, Ilara saw multiple versions of reality superimposed upon each other, quantum possibilities coexisting. Then, with a silent flash of blue-white light, the test vessel vanished from the launch bay. 3 seconds later, it reappeared in orbit around Mars. A journey that should have taken months had been completed in the blink of an eye. In the control room, stunned silence gave way to cheers of triumph as the telemetry confirmed what seemed impossible. Humanity had achieved hyperspeed. News of the successful test spread quickly through Earth's defense network, but was kept classified from the general public and, more importantly, from alien observers. The next 3 months saw the technology refined and the first combat vessel retrofitted with the new drive. The prototype warship, christened Defiance, would serve as the template for Earth's technological revolution. It was none too soon. Long-range sensors detected a Zexari battle fleet entering the outer solar system, 2 months ahead of intelligence estimates. 30 warships, each capable of reducing a continent to ash, on a direct course for Earth. The Galactic Council issued a formal statement expressing regret at the impending annexation of humanity, but declined to intervene, citing Earth's developmental immaturity and technological inadequacy. Admiral Jackson called an emergency meeting of Earth's defense leadership aboard the orbital command station. The holographic display showed the approaching Zexari fleet, a formation of red markers moving inexorably toward the blue sphere of Earth. They'll reach optimal attack range in 72 hours, Colonel Way reported. Our conventional forces can delay them, but the outcome is inevitable without intervention. Jackson turned to Ilara. Captain Chen, what's the status of Project Prometheus? The Defiance is operational, Admiral. We've achieved reliable hyperspeed capability and installed modified pulse cannons that can penetrate Zexari shields. 1 ship against 30, someone muttered. 1 ship that can move in ways they cannot predict or counter, Ilara countered. The Defiance can strike and relocate faster than their targeting systems can acquire a lock. And the other 11 prototype vessels? Jackson asked. We've installed hyperspeed cores in 3 more ships. They're undergoing final calibration. The remaining 8 will be ready within 2 weeks. But we don't have 2 weeks, Jackson finished. The room fell silent as the implications settled over them. Earth would face the Zexari with just 4 hyperspeed-capable ships against an armada. The outcome seemed predetermined. Then Ilara spoke again. "Admiral, I have a proposal. It's unorthodox, but it might give us the edge we need." The plan she outlined was audacious to the point of insanity. It violated every conventional tactical doctrine. It required precision and coordination beyond anything previously attempted in space warfare. It was, in short, exactly the kind of approach that aliens who had been waging space battles for millennia would never anticipate from primitive humans. "They expect us to be predictable," Ilara concluded. "So we'll be anything but." Admiral Jackson studied the tactical projections, then looked up at the officers waiting for his decision. "Implement Captain Chen's strategy. May God help us all." Outside, the Zexari fleet continued its inexorable approach, confident in their technological superiority and the inevitability of their victory. They had conquered dozens of young civilizations before. Earth would be no different. They were wrong. Velocity's vengeance. The Zexari invasion fleet entered the inner solar system with the confidence of predators approaching helpless prey. Their vessels, massive constructions of dark metal and pulsing energy fields, moved in perfect formation, weapon systems primed for the token resistance they expected from Earth's defenders. Commander Vextel stood on the command deck of the flagship Inevitable Dominion, watching the tactical display with 6 of his 8 eyes. The remaining pair remained fixed on the communication feed from their scout vessels. Primitive projectile weapons, energy beams operating in predictable wavelengths, and nuclear devices barely capable of scratching our outer shields, the scout commander reported. Their fleet consists of approximately 100 vessels, all using conventional fusion drives. They've arranged themselves in a defensive perimeter around their planet. Vextel's mouthparts clicked in amusement. Predictable. They always try to form a shield wall with their ships. Begin standard conquest protocol. Dispatch herald vessels to deliver surrender terms. 3 smaller Zexari ships detached from the formation, accelerating toward Earth's defensive line. Their mission was ceremonial rather than tactical, to offer humanity the choice between submission and annihilation, though the outcome would be virtually the same either way. None of the previous 47 civilizations conquered by the Zexari had maintained true independence after accepting their terms. Aboard the Earth flagship Resilience, Admiral Jackson watched the approaching herald vessels with grim determination. All ships maintain position. Do not engage unless fired upon. Earth's conventional fleet formed a protective sphere around the planet, a thin line of steel and determination. Behind this visible defense, hidden in the shadow of Earth's moon, waited the 4 hyperspeed-equipped vessels, humanity's true hope for survival. Ilara stood on the bridge of the Defiance, her crew tense but focused. The ship hummed with the strange harmonics of the hyperspeed drive, ready to execute humanity's desperate gambit. "Herald vessels are broadcasting," her communications officer reported. "They're demanding our immediate surrender and integration into the Zexari collective." No response. Ilara ordered, "Let them think their transmission is being discussed by Earth's leadership." The Zexari heralds maintained position just beyond weapons range of Earth's fleet, awaiting a response that wouldn't come. After 30 minutes of silence, they began to withdraw, the standard prelude to attack. "They're returning to their fleet," Ilara observed, preparing to commence bombardment. She activated the secure channel to the other hyperspeed vessels. "All Prometheus ships, synchronize quantum fields. Prepare for simultaneous jump on my mark." The 4 ships' drives spooled up, creating the distinctive resonance pattern that would allow them to slip between the fabric of conventional space. Unlike the crude fusion engines that powered conventional vessels, the hyperspeed drive left no energy signature before activation, no warning of what was to come. "Zexari fleet is moving into attack formation," reported Tactical Officer Liu. "Their weapon systems are powering up." Ilara waited, counting down silently as the Zexari ships arranged themselves into their standard attack pattern. A 3-dimensional arrowhead, designed to maximize firepower while maintaining overlapping shields. "Now," she ordered. The 4 Earth vessels vanished simultaneously from lunar orbit. Aboard the inevitable Dominion, alarms suddenly blared as sensors detected 4 new contacts materializing directly within the Zexari formation. An impossibility according to known physics. "Impossible," Vextal hissed. "No species at Earth's development stage has hyperspeed capability." Before the Zexari commander could issue new orders, the Earth vessels opened fire. Unlike conventional weapons that diffused against Zexari shields, these new pulse cannons, calibrated to the precise frequency of the enemy shields, passed through the defensive barriers as if they weren't there. 2 Zexari cruisers erupted into explosions before they could respond. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the Earth vessels vanished again. "Recalibrate shields," Vextal ordered. "Adjust to compensate for." The 4 ships reappeared at different points within the formation, firing another coordinated volley before disappearing once more. 3 more Zexari vessels suffered critical damage. What followed was unlike any space battle in recorded galactic history. The Earth ships executed Ilara's battle plan with precision, appearing, striking, and vanishing before the Zexari targeting systems could lock onto them. Each appearance lasted less than 5 seconds, but each attack was precisely calculated to inflict maximum damage. The Zexari attempted to adapt, adjusting their shield frequencies and dispersion patterns, but the humans had anticipated this. Each attack used a different harmonic frequency, preventing the Zexari from establishing an effective defense. "They're not just using hyperspeed for propulsion," Vextal realized with growing horror. "They're using the quantum field manipulation to enhance their weapon systems." Indeed, the Earth vessels were creating localized distortions in space-time that amplified their weapons' effectiveness. Physics itself seemed to bend to human will in ways the Zexari had never witnessed. In the observation chamber of the Galactic Council facility orbiting Venus, ostensibly neutral territory from which Council representatives could observe the conflict without intervening, alien diplomats watched in stunned silence. "How is this possible?" the Volari ambassador whispered, his crystalline form vibrating with shock. "Their technological development curve should not permit this level of quantum manipulation for at least another century." The Mendarian representative, a being of pure energy contained within an environmental suit, flickered with agitation. "We have miscalculated." Drastically. On the main view screen, another Zexari warship exploded, its matter-antimatter core destabilized by a precisely targeted Earth attack. Half the invasion fleet had been disabled or destroyed in less than 20 minutes, without a single human casualty. The Zexari commander finally recognized the inevitable. "All vessels, emergency withdrawal. Return to Proxima Centauri base." The remaining Zexari ships attempted to disengage, activating their conventional faster-than-light drives. Several managed to escape, disappearing into hyperspace. Others were destroyed as they attempted to flee. The inevitable Dominion itself was cornered by the 4 Earth vessels, which appeared simultaneously at equidistant points around the massive flagship. "This is Captain Ilara Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet." Ilara's voice rang through the Zexari Command Center. "Your fleet is defeated. Surrender your vessel or be destroyed." Vextal's mandibles clicked in fury and disbelief. No primitive species had ever forced the Zexari to surrender. It was unthinkable, humiliating, and yet undeniable. "We accept your terms," the Zexari commander finally responded. News of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy at the speed of light, amplified by the astonished reports from the Galactic Council observers. A civilization that had been dismissed as technologically backward had not only developed hyperspeed independently, but had revolutionized its application in ways that the elder species had never imagined. 1 week later, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. For the first time in the Council's 20,000-year history, a representative of Earth was invited to address the gathering. Admiral Jackson stood before the assembled aliens, his military uniform stark against the elaborate attire of the various species, Beside him stood Ilara Chen, now promoted to fleet commander, and Dr. Marcus Walsh, the theoretical mind behind the hyperspeed breakthrough. The Council acknowledges Earth's petition for full membership status, announced the Archon, the ancient being who served as the Council's chairperson. Recent events have revised our assessment of human technological capability. Jackson nodded acknowledgement but remained silent. The humans had practiced this moment, letting the Council squirm in the uncomfortable silence. Furthermore, the Archon continued, we propose an exchange of scientific knowledge, particularly regarding your innovative applications of quantum field theory. Now Jackson spoke. Earth is willing to consider scientific exchange as equals. We are not interested in being studied as curiosities or treated as junior partners. Murmurs passed through the alien representatives, some outraged, others impressed by the humans' audacity. The Volari ambassador, who had once laughed at human technology, spoke next. Surely you understand that our civilizations have existed for millennia longer than yours. We have accumulated wisdom that. And yet, Ilara interrupted, none of you imagined using quantum resonance the way we have. Age does not always equate to innovation, Ambassador. Sometimes fresh perspectives see possibilities that established minds miss. The council chamber fell silent again. The truth of her words was undeniable. Humans had taken a technology that most species used simply for transportation and weaponized it, defended with it, revolutionized it, all in a fraction of the time it had taken other species to develop similar capabilities. The humans have earned their place, the Mendarian representative finally stated, its energy form pulsing with what might have been respect. Not just through technological achievement, but through their unique approach to problem solving. This is precisely why the Council exists, to bring diverse perspectives together. One by one, the representatives voted. The outcome was unprecedented but unanimous. Earth would join the Galactic Council as a full member, with all the rights, protections, and responsibilities that entailed. As the session concluded, the Archon approached the human delegation privately. I must confess, Commander Chen, many of us expected your species to destroy itself before reaching this stage. Your history is turbulent. Ilara smiled. Perhaps that turbulence is precisely what drove us to reach for the stars with such urgency, Archon. Humanity has always been most innovative when facing its greatest challenges. A fascinating perspective, the ancient being acknowledged. One wonders what other surprises humanity will bring to the galactic community. As they departed the council chamber, Dr. Walsh turned to Ilara. You know, the hyperspeed drive we've developed is just the beginning. I've been working on theories regarding interdimensional travel that could make hyperspeed look primitive by comparison. Ilara laughed. Let's not tell the council just yet, Marcus. I think they've had enough surprises from humanity for 1 decade. The Earth delegation returned to their ship, no longer an insignificant vessel in the eyes of the galaxy, but the representative of a civilization that had earned its place among the stars, not through the patient accumulation of knowledge over millennia, but through the uniquely human combination of desperation, innovation, and the stubborn refusal to accept limitations imposed by others. The galaxy had laughed at Earth's fleet. Now they were watching humanity with newfound respect, and perhaps just a touch of fear.